says in Daniel 10:2-3, Daniel was mourning and fasting for 3 weeks. Although the Jews had been allowed to return from exile, many challenges remained. Daniel was concerned about God's people. And the first key point I'll take from it was Daniel prayed and he fasted. He humbled himself before God through prayer and fasting. God honors sincere prayer and spiritual discipline. That's something I want us to know. There was spiritual warfare revealed. That's Daniel 10:10-14. The messenger explained that Daniel's prayer was heard from the first day. However, the answer was delayed because of the prince of Persia, a spiritual power opposing God's purpose. Now, there's always a spiritual realm operating behind earthly events. How do we apply it? We may feel sometimes answer seems delayed, prayers not heard, but God's already been working. Like he's been working from day one, right? That's why we still need to keep on praying and fasting. Daniel received strength from Daniel 10:15-21. He was overwhelmed. He was weak. Yes, we're humans. We're allowed to be weak, but we're not allowed to make it overthrow us. We're meant to fight it. The angel repeatedly strengthened him before delivering God's message. Now, what's the lesson there? God equips people before assigning them difficult tasks because God gives us tasks because He knows we can handle them. Sometimes you may feel I'm tired. I say it too, I'm tired. But I want us to also know that the God that gave you the task knows you can do it. He knows the child that He brought on earth, right? Now, moving to Daniel 11. This revealed future kings, wars, and political struggles long before they had happened. The central message is not merely about the history, right? But about God's control over history. The things of this world may change, but God's purpose never fails. That's one thing I want everyone to know. And the first point I'm going to take from Daniel 11:1-20. Like I earlier said, the chapter begins with prophecies concerning Persia, Greece, the division of his kingdom, conflicts between the king of the north and the south. I want us to know that nothing catches God by surprise. That's something I want us to know. The future may be very uncertain to us, but it's never uncertain to God because He already knows. He brought you here, so He knows your every step. He knows what you're thinking. I'm going to digress a bit. Isaiah 46:10 says, God declares the beginning, the end from the beginning. That's a reminder. Point 2. Evil may prosper temporarily, but not permanently. And I'm pointing that to Daniel 11:21-35. The focus shifts to a wicked ruler who seized power deceitfully, desecrated the temple, persecuted God's people. He represents the spirit of opposition against God. What's the lesson there? There will always be forces that opposes God's truth, God's children, but believers should not be surprised when following God brings opposition. Those who know God remain strong. Daniel 11:32. To me, this is one of the powerful verse of this chapter, right? But the people who know their God shall be strong and carry out great exploits. Notice, it does not say those who know religion. It says those who know God. Characteristics of people who know God: they remain faithful under pressure, they refuse compromise, they trust God when circumstances are difficult, and they influence others for righteousness. Strength comes from relationship with God, not favorable circumstances. Nothing catches God by surprise. The prophecy describes a ruler who exalts himself above all. Human pride always leads to destruction. Everyone knows that. No earthly power can overthrow God's kingdom. Now, Daniel 36-45, chapter 11, it gives detailed prophecy about the future wars, the corrupt rulers, the betrayals, and power struggles between kingdoms. Now, one lesson I'm going to put there is human power is temporary. At work, when you feel overwhelmed, or wherever you are placed to do something and you feel someone is out there to make it hard for you, just know human power is temporary. Evil rulers may seem strong for a time, but they do not last. That's a reminder. God already knows the course of history. Now, moving to Daniel chapter 12, and I tagged the whole of this as hope beyond the struggle. Daniel 12 answers an important question. What happens to God's people after the battle? Point 1, deliverance will come. Like it said in Daniel 12:1, Michael arise to defend God's people. A time of trouble comes, but God promises deliverance. He's not going to forget you. That's something you should always know. And the trials are temporary. God's salvation is eternal. When life becomes difficult, please remember God has not abandoned his people. Just continue to have faith, to pray, and always know the God you serve. Point 2, resurrection is certain. Some will rise to everlasting life, others to everlasting judgment. And I believe we all know what we want. Death is not the end. That's a reminder too. Our hope is not merely in this life but in eternity. Another reminder. Point 3, faithful believers will shine. I'm picking a point where it says, those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament. So those who lead others to righteousness receive eternal reward. Like I said, God sees our hearts. So when we are leading his people to him, he sees the heart. He's not like we human that we see your face, oh my God, she loves God. But he sees your innermost heart and he sees if you're doing it sincerely or you're just doing it for show. Never underestimate the impact of pointing someone towards God. Like I said, he noticed every act of faithfulness. Point 4, not everything will be fully understood. Daniel 12:4-9. Daniel wanted more details. Instead, God reminded him that some things would only become clear in God's timing. You can't run faster than your shadow. So all you need to do is still keep praying and trusting God. Faith means trusting God even when all questions are not answered or you feel confused. We're humans. We're bound to. But we're not bound to sleep in it. We're not bound to pray to God and go back and worry, because it's just like you saying, God, give me back my problems. You can't solve it. Just give it back to me. So I urge us to always pray and just leave it as his doorstep and continue to praise him. We do not need to complete understanding to remain obedient. That's something I feel in every part of the Bible. It's very clear there. And point 5, finish well, Daniel 12:13. The book closes with God's personal promise to Daniel, which says, go your way till the end, for you shall rest and will arise to your inheritance at the end of the days. There are 3 promises. You have rest, you have resurrection, and you have reward. What's the lesson there? Faithfulness today leads to reward tomorrow. There's something I always tell myself. I'd rather be number 2 in God's plan than be number 1 in my own plan. And another thing, spiritual life hits harder than physical life. Whatever was meant to be will be. Stop stressing about things that are beyond control and trust God. Pray before every decision, small or big, for God is in all details of your life. I'm going to conclude with this. Daniel's message is not that God's people will avoid trouble. No, trouble is going to come like a big load, right? His message is that God's people will overcome through faith. Kingdoms will rise and fall for your sake. Leaders will come and go for your sake. Trials will come and pass for your sake. But those who know their God, like I said, not religion, like the Bible states, dear God, stand firm in faith and remain faithful to the end, will inherit the promises of God. For friendship with the world is enemies with God. Thank you very much.